Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a brand new 2023 GMC Canyon Denali. And today, I'm gonna review it for you guys. Now, the last time I reviewed a Canyon, I think it was a 2021, something like that, and I rinsed it like the dishes. I was not a fan of that truck. Personally, I thought it kind of fell at the lower end of the pack when it comes to mid-size pickup trucks. But this brand new Canyon has improved in almost every way, and it's basically at the top, especially when it comes to the interior. I cannot wait to show you guys what this has packed in it. I was floored. This has to be one of the most luxurious interiors on a mid-size truck right now. And so without further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Jones GMC for allowing me to borrow this vehicle to review. For all your GMC needs in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, I'll leave a link to Jones's website in the description below. Man, what a refresh. This Canyon looks super sharp. I really like the styling. Very much reminds me of a small Sierra, which is exactly what it's trying to do. I think the only thing that I don't like on these trucks is there is an optional grille that makes it look like it has like 18 different USB ports on the front. I think that's really funny, but I'm not a fan of that styling. But this Denali looks really, really good. I particularly like the chrome grille on here. I'm not usually a fan of chrome, but I think on a Denali, it's gotta be chrome, right? And then down here, you'll have a camera incorporated into that grille right below your GMC logo. That's for the 360-degree camera system this has. And then you will have LED fog lights and LED headlights, as well as these really neat daytime running lights, which are like two parts. They kind of split right here and they wrap up, and those also double as your turn signals. I really, really like that design. And then down here on the Denali, you're not gonna get a giant beefy skid plate, but you will get two recovery hooks very cleverly implemented into this lower portion of the air dam. Moving underneath the hood in this Canyon, it's powered by a 2.7-liter turbo 4-cylinder, which is new for this truck, which makes 310 horsepower and a whopping 430 pound-feet of torque. That is paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and that makes for an EPA rating of 17 city and 21 highway, which is impressive, albeit not outstanding for the mid-size truck segment. Moving to the profile of the Canyon, starting down here, you'll have 275 60R tires around these 20-inch wheels, which I think look fantastic, especially on this Denali trim. Then up here you'll have matte black fender flares with marker lights incorporated into them. And one thing I really love about this truck is that it has a much wider stance, very aggressive. Even here on the Denali, you can see it flares out a little bit more. And I love that. I think it makes every trim of the truck look particularly aggressive. And one thing that I love is that for the first time on a mid-sized truck, I feel like I wouldn't be compromising by getting this over something like an equally equipped Sierra. Now, there are a few things I'll point out that I do wish this truck had that this particular one doesn't. Some are options, some are not. But I think for the first time, it has so many features jammed into it that I'm like, wow, this feels just like a Sierra, and like I'm not losing features here. They've added so much that it feels so premium, and it's just like the larger truck, but in a smaller form factor, which is fantastic. As we move up here, you'll have a chrome mirror cap with a camera incorporated into it for that 360-degree camera system. There is blind spot monitoring, and they are power mirrors, though they are not power folding. That's one of my disappointments. I do wish these were power folding, but it is a much smaller truck, so there's less of a necessity for that power folding. Then down here you will have running boards. Would be nice to have, again, power folding running boards. That might be an option on this truck, but this particular one doesn't have that. You'll have keyless entry up here. All you have to do is hit lock if you have the key in your pocket. That's gonna lock the door. And you tap it again, that's going to unlock it. Very useful, so you don't have to fish around for your keys. And then as we move to the rear here, you will have a nice step up into the bed. I love that General Motors does this. I believe the new Ford Ranger is also incorporating a rear bed step. I think all the trucks should. It's very useful to just get up into the bed easily. If we move down here, you'll have rear parking sensors, which are always helpful, and your tow hitch. And then up here, you'll have your Canyon badge, Denali, and the GMC logo, as well as your backup camera right here and a keyhole. Then dropping the tailgate, it is a soft drop, which is nice to see. And moving in here, this is a spray-in bed liner, not just a drop-in. Last time I did a Canyon, it was a drop-in, and I called it the bed of lies. But not here. It's a very nice spray-in. You are going to get a 120-volt household outlet, which is really cool to see. Very useful for work. You're going to have some tie-downs in here, though unfortunately no LED lighting in this Denali. That is absent right here. But it does have a feature I've never seen on a truck before, on any truck. If we move these little pull tabs, we can lift up, and there is storage built in to the tailgate. I have never seen that before. That is incredibly, I would say forward thinking, but you'd think somebody would have thought of this by now. I'm just glad somebody did, and it's so neat. You could store drinks in here, you know, you could put whatever, you could put anything that you could put in a place of storage that is of these dimensions, you could put it here. It's just really cool to see that extra feature, and then all you have to do is push these, and that's gonna lock that back into place, and we can lift the tailgate up. So overall, I mean, so many neat features incorporated into this Canyon. And before we step into the interior, I'd like to talk about the key really quick. This is a standard GM key. You'll get lock, unlock, panic, and then you'll also have remote start here as well. 4-cylinder doesn't sound crazy starting up, basically like a sedan, but maybe a little bit more oomph to it. And then you can just tap that again to turn it off. Normally, I start the interior segment in the interior, but I want to show you guys exactly what I saw when I first got in to hopefully replicate this just sense of wonderment at how incredibly premium this interior is. So opening it up here, look at that door panel. Look at the stitching, and the seats look incredible. I mean, like, my word, if this isn't class leading for mid-sized trucks for a little while, I don't know what will be. I mean, it is so amazing to look at. Very key choice of words right there. The seats, very comfortable, bolstered very nicely. This door panel, very premium feeling. This is a little hard touch plastic up here, so that's disappointing, but this is soft touch, so you can rest your arm here nice. Here's something I noticed. I have this problem on my Tacoma too. This is kind of chintzy. Right here where you would grab the door, I don't know if you can see it, but it shakes a little bit. And I'm like, this is brand new. I don't understand how these mid-sized truck manufacturers don't just put a bolt like right here, because this is where you're grabbing the door the most. And so it shouldn't be shaky right here. That's my big complaint with a lot of these mid-sized trucks. And so while this interior does look beautiful, and for the most part, the build quality in here is really high quality, this part of the door, which is one of the places you'll be touching the most, is kind of disappointing, a little chintzy right there, but you know, I hope they improve. Maybe that's what they'll do for the next model year. They're like, we added a bolt right there. But I mean, look at the wood here, and this is, oh my word, so comfortable, the stitching. You'll have your mirror controls right here, your window controls, and then you'll also have your settings for the seats, which are of course power with power lumbar support as well. I would expect nothing less. And then as we hop up in here, let's talk about some of the features over here. So you're gonna have your controls for the brightness of the screen right there, trailer brake assist, and then this is gonna give you the ability to pop your hood down there. And then it is a manually adjusting tilt and telescoping. I actually don't mind manually adjusting tilt and telescoping. I think that's fine. I think it's kind of silly sometimes when it's all electric, but this steering wheel is very nice, super comfortable. You're going to have your controls here for your turn signals as well as your windshield wipers. That's all on one stock. There's only one right here. You can see your push button start right down there. Before we move on, I want to briefly vent about one thing, the headlights. So normally there's a dial or a stock for the headlights right about here, but it wasn't there. Now the hazards were in their normal place right here. And I'm like, where are the headlights? And then I realized maybe they put it in the screen, and they did. So the headlight controls are in here. Now, when you get in your truck, it's just gonna be on auto. It's gonna sense when to turn the headlights on and off. It's gonna keep the running lights on most of the time. But if you wanna turn your fog lights on, for instance, or turn anything else on or off, you have to go into the screen, which is a little inconvenient. I'm not a huge fan of that. And it's not like they couldn't do a regular dial. I just feel like everything's pushing forward into the screen. And I wanted to point that out because I was like, ooh, this is a little frustrating. It's just an extra added step that I'm not a huge fan of. And then you're gonna get a fully digital gauge cluster, which is incredible. I mean, look at how premium this looks. So impressive. Obviously, it's telling us our fuel is low. But there's a lot of different things that you can change on here since it's fully digital. You can go between your different radio hits, your Bluetooth, and then when we change the drive mode, you can see you can change the layout of that, which is just awesome. I mean, like, what a cool design incorporated into this truck. Up here, you're going to have your Bose speakers. Because of copyright, I cannot play any music, but I assure you that it is very high quality. And then down here, you'll have your infotainment system. General Motors has had one of the best infotainment systems in the industry for quite a while now, and their new system is no different. It's super fast, very premium feeling. It, like, you see everything kind of fades in when I switch between it. It doesn't lag. There's really no delay. It's just giddy up and go, and I love that on this truck. You're going to have your different controls for your climate. You'll have heated and ventilated seats in here, as well as a heated steering wheel. I'd expect no less on the Denali. Again, very premium. It's one of their higher offerings on this particular truck. One more cool thing that they have up here is you can see there is a heads-up display. Doesn't actually flash. That's the camera's refresh rate right there that's making it flash. But very, very cool to see that up there. And then down here, you will have a button. Whoop, come on, focus, buddy. There we go. You'll have a button for all four windows down, auto engine start stop, your hazards, your lane keep assist, and your aux. Now, all of these buttons feel really high quality. These definitely do feel like they're really premium buttons, and like they hold up well, especially here too. It almost feels like you're hitting piano keys with these buttons up on the dashboard. But down here, you're going to have your shifter, pretty traditional shifter, as well as two USBs, a USB-C and a traditional USB. Then you'll have your drive mode selector right there for the off-road modes and your electronic parking brake. I really like this wireless charger right here with the kind of camo design that's incorporated in the doors, and then also down here in the cup holders as well. Now, if we throw this into reverse, this does have a 360-degree camera system with guiding lines that turn with the vehicle, and a backup camera. GM has always really excelled with their cameras, and I'm super excited to see that here on the Canyon. I mean, it really, again, it doesn't feel like I'm losing anything compared to the Sierra. There's a lot of different angles and modes, and even though this Denali isn't necessarily designed to go off-road, you could absolutely take it off-road. So that's very premium there as well. I mean, I just want to, like, literally look at this wood right here. It says Denali in there. Like, that is incredible. Come on, focus up. That is incredible. I mean, the attention to detail is unmatched. I mean, it really is premium. And then up here, you'll have a regular mirror. Unfortunately, no camera mirror right here, but this is auto dimming, which is nice. And then, okay, guys, I've wanted to talk about this forever. I'm so excited. There's a sunroof. Let's go. Finally, it's not panoramic, but there's a sunroof in the Canyon. This has been my #1 complaint in this truck since I began reviewing vehicles. The Denali didn't have a sunroof, and I'm like, literally what? But it finally does now. Now my hope is that the Sierra Denali gets a panoramic, because that still doesn't have the option for a panoramic. But look, we're making baby steps, okay guys? We're making baby steps. This has got a sunroof, which is awesome. Love to see that here. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about that I'm not a large fan of is this is still a manually sliding rear window. Guys, my 3rd gen Tacoma has a power sliding rear window. Come on. Now, I'm sure they did some sort of testing that was like, oh man, people don't really open that window a lot, so we made it manually sliding, but that's ridiculous. Make it power sliding. Come on, that's probably the only main complaint that I still have with this truck. I think everything else in here is so premium, so high quality, except that door panel right there, and just a marked step above the outgoing model. I mean, it doesn't even feel like they're the same truck. I mean, this feels almost like it's from a different brand in the best possible way. And then opening up this cubby storage area right here, you do have a little removable storage bin, and then down here you can, whoopsie daisies, you have a, looks like a 12 volt. Yep. Then before we move to the back, there is no driver's side grab handle. That is something that I used to talk about a lot. I used to say like, hey, does this truck have that? Because I know that's important to me, and that's important to a lot of other people. Passenger side one, but no driver's side one, so that's a little disappointing. But still, I mean, incredible update. Incredible update from the outgoing model. Worlds better, leaps and bounds better. Let's take a look at the back seats. All right, I am sitting where I would be sitting, and this is sort of to be expected. Don't have a lot of legroom, maybe an inch. I have a decent amount of headroom, maybe another inch, inch and a half, but it is pretty squeezed back here in the rear seats of the Canyon Denali, though they'll give you a whole household power outlet way down there at the bottom, USB and USB-C, as well as climate vents. So, oh man, the climate vents are so helpful. You know, even if it might be a little tight, you get that air flowing back there. And you do have an armrest that you can fold down with cup holders, so it doesn't feel as bad as it could back here. I think they do add some luxury amenities, and you also get this dome light, which I think is funny. It's kind of like lower, probably because of the sunroof right there. And your headroom right here is lifted up, so you're kind of at eye level with the dome light, which is really amusing. But just looking at this again, like from this angle, I mean, so nice. Like, if you're looking for a luxury midsize pickup truck, the Canyon Denali is probably the #1 contender for that. All right, very brief driving impressions, because this Canyon is already pre-sold, so I can't take it out on the road, but I can take it around the parking lot in this back road here really quick. Really smooth. If we accelerates pretty well. That 4-cylinder isn't bad. This is the first of the new mid-size truck 4-cylinders I've had the chance to drive, and this is pretty peppy overall. Very commanding view from in here, and I really like the seat comfort. The seats are very comfortable, and it's just so premium in here. I know I've already talked about that a lot, but man, it just really feels high quality. Well, that is going to conclude my review of this GMC Canyon. I really hope you guys enjoyed. But before I go, I'd like to mention that I am a Christian, and if you have any prayer requests, I would love to be able to pray for you guys. You can leave those in the comment section below. And I like to close on a weekly scripture verse. Now, normally I memorize a scripture or I bring my Bible and read something for you guys, but this was really spur of the moment. Like 45 minutes ago, they're like, we have a Denali! And I was like, I will be there. And so I didn't have time to memorize the scripture, so I'm gonna throw one up on screen now. I really hope that this verse blesses you guys and points you towards Christ. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.